first-class post in 3 days is too expensive. Delivering it is apparently not working out quite so well. Postal Service is saying stamp prices are getting really, really high, and very few people, if any, are now using the Postal Service. Paul, very good morning to you.
Morning to you, Mike.
Good to see you. Yeah, thanks very much indeed. The price of a first-class stamp is now £1.70, which will come as a bit of a shock to people. I mean, I don't tend to use the post that much. I mean, obviously, you know, businesses still use it quite a bit, but there's an awful lot of pressure, isn't there, at the top end of Royal Mail delivery, not just on letters, but also on packages as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the profit is in parcels and packages. That's what people want to deliver as well from online shopping and the like. So, like you, many people just don't use stamps for letters anymore.
Yeah.
This idea of having the NHS, the new NHS barcode, is sensible move, I think, but to cover up the shortfalls, one in the delivery failures by the Royal Mail, but also the fact that actually the NHS is still using post and are still reliant on the post for getting some really urgent critical appointments to people.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we just had a note apropos of nothing really, and it's not particularly relevant to you being on, but a note from somebody saying that, you know, the postal delivery person who turned up at her door was sort of dressed in what she called very inappropriate outfits. I mean, is that a thing? I don't see the postman that often, but I haven't seen anyone with short shorts on or anything.
I was going to say, they're always in shorts, no matter what the weather. A postman and the post people are always in shorts, whether male, female, young, old, or whatever.
Yeah. I know. I mean, it is a problem, though. I mean, how much has the post office changed over time? Because, you know, when you were former post office minister, you know, there was a lot less, I suppose, fragmentation of the business, you know, whereas nowadays you see, if you walk down any street in Britain, there's about 5 different delivery lorries from 5 different, you know, courier companies, some of which are better than others, all of which are competing with Royal Mail, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's only 5 years ago that I was post office minister. That fragmentation had started, but clearly it's only going in one direction as more and more people are reliant for the various services like, you know, Every and Amazon vans and these kind of things, DHL and the like, for their online shopping parcels. And that's where, as I say, the profit is going. And so most postal services that focus on parcels are profitable. It's
right.
The one that have the Royal Mail has that universal service obligation to get those letters to us,
right.
No matter where we are in the country.
But what they're now saying is they can't guarantee within any sort of reasonable amount of money that they can do a first-class stamp deliverable within 3 days. I mean, it used to be 1 day. When did it suddenly become
exactly.
3 days? And now saying a second-class stamp will only get your letter to somebody within 5 days.
Yeah, and I think
That's mad.
It's a combination of things. It's all that kind of stuff. In terms of, as I say, pressure on postal services with fewer people using it, but it's a lack of investment as well, I think, in the years gone by.
Yeah.
So hopefully with the takeover by Daniel Kretinsky, the Czech Sphinx as he's known as,
oh yeah,
hopefully we can get some more investment in, and that can change the game a little bit.
Is that going to get better? I mean, is that going to, you know, it's effectively privatised, isn't it now?
Yeah, I mean, he owned a good chunk of the shares. I mean, Royal Mail was sold off by Vince Cable when he was, remember him? When he was
I remember him, yeah.
coalition government. So it's been private for a while. It's now taken under private ownership rather than being traded publicly.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's see. I mean, I've met him. I met Daniel Kretinsky a few years back. He seems like a sensible head. He's turned around postal services elsewhere in Europe. Let's see.
Now, I know that's a very different business, but we've been talking about British Steel today as well, because Nigel Farage is talking about the need for it to be nationalised. Nationalisation used to be a dirty word in right-wing politics, but seemingly that's changed now. What do you think's changed that, and do you think it's a good idea?
No, I don't think it's a good idea, to be honest. I mean, look, you know, I agree with you that nationalisation still is very much a last resort, because what steel needs, steel in this country, we're trying to move towards, you know, sustainability, net zero, all that kind of things, which needs electric arc furnaces, which can only do certain types of steel. And if no one's buying that kind of steel, then we're not competitive.
Right.
We do need to look
but
at...
isn't then the problem that you're creating a business failure model then? Because by putting in the electric arc model, you don't have a business anymore.
Yeah, effectively, and this is part of the problem. I think British Steel has not been able to move as quickly as other countries, and now, clearly that's also because of China dumping steel on
Yeah.
markets and those kind of things, which is why lots of I know tariffs is a big controversial word at the moment, but the tariffs have been sensibly put on China steel at the moment because that's distorted the market, including the UK market.
Yeah, right. But I mean, the other problem, of course, is that if you've got all of this net zero business driving industry, heavy industry, and driving it out of business, then surely at some point somebody goes, well, maybe we shouldn't be driving business out of business and try and keep what we've got.
Totally, totally. I mean, the thing with net zero, some bits of net zero are fine if you're actually looking at using technology and things like that to drive those changes to have a more sustainable business, you reduce water usage, you reduce energy costs, etc. But that's over a period of time. If you're just penalising businesses, penalising customers, then clearly that just makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to talk to you. Paul Scully, thanks very much indeed. Former Post Office Minister, of course, and Tory MP as